Now, as you can imagine, having to make specific identifications for your 45-day list means that it's very important that you get very focused and very speedy in your identification of those, because only properties on that 45-day list will qualify to finish your 1031 exchange. But wait, it gets worse. It's not just that you can go out and name 20 or 30 or 40 properties. The IRS is very careful to pin you down. So there's a three-part funnel, if you will, where the IRS is going to try to make you be very specific and limit the number of properties that you identify for your exchange. So the first part of that 45-day rule is that as long as you name 3 or fewer properties on your list, it doesn't matter how much they're worth. So you could sell a small condo for $100,000. You could name 3 $5 million office buildings on your list. And that's absolutely fine. Of course, we know what the kicker is to that. You've got to be able to close on one of those 3 buildings. That might be tough if all you're selling is a $100,000 condo. But you can do that. Now, where it starts to get tricky is that if you need to name more than 3 properties on your list, you can still do it, but the total value of that list can be no more than 200% of the value of what you sold. So again, if you sold that $100,000 condo, you could name 4 replacement properties that were 4 $50,000 lots, because the value of that list would be 50 times 4, that's $200,000, and your property you sold was $100,000. But if you wanted to name 3 $50,000 lots and 1 $75,000 lot, that would disqualify your entire exchange. That's how tricky and specific it gets. Now, there is one more exception to that, and that is that if you have to name more than 3 properties on your list, and if those 4 or more properties have to be more than 200% of the value of what you sold, you can still do it if you actually close on 95% of the value of your list. Confused yet? Don't feel alone. This is the trickiest part of the law in total as the statute reads. If you have to name more than 3 properties, if it has to be more than 200% of what you sold, you can still do it if you close on 95% of the list. Back to our example, you sold for $100,000, you named 3 $50,000 lots and 1 $75,000 lots. So you named more than 3, the total of the 4 is more than 200% of what you sold. But if you closed on all 4 of those lots, then you would have closed on 95% of the value of the list. And you could do that. So what's best? Keep it simple, keep it quick, stay focused, and try to get as much done during that 45-day period as you can, because guess what? No exceptions, no extensions, nothing. Once that 45-day list has passed, 45 days has passed, whatever's on that list are the only properties you can choose from. It doesn't matter if you get outbid, if one burns down, and if the owner of the other one dies and it goes into probate. Those are the properties the IRS says you can purchase. So, of all the pieces to this statute, the 45-day list is the one where I see the most exchanges fail. So take it serious, don't be scared of it, but you got to rock right along and get it happening. So here's our example, just to make sure we test our understanding. Bill and Jane again. They sold their rental property for $100,000. They want to identify 2 or 3 $1 million replacements. Can they do that? The answer is yes, because they only named 3 or fewer potentials. But what if Bill and Jane sell that same property for $100,000 and they want to identify 4 little condos for $75,000 each? Can they do that? Well, the answer is maybe. Although it does break the 200% rule, as long as they closed on all 4 of those, they would have closed on 95% of the list. That's the 45-day requirement. It's the worst of all.